All right, we're into match number 3 here of the 2025 Atlantic Rugby Championships and Maritime Athletic Profiles. My name is Dan Hobson, and we're honored to have Megan Bintz. Can't play because of knee injury, but she is ecstatic to be here in the booth. Really happy. It looks like she swallowed a piano. She's excited to be here, and we're glad to have your thoughts here between PEI and Nova Scotia.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited to see this game.
Yeah, it should be a really good one here between PEI, Nova Scotia. So weather's starting to get a little bit more cooler, if you could say that. It's still a hot day. Temperature right around 24, 25 degrees of a humidex of 30 now, but the wind sort of getting to be a little bit of a factor. An early scrum here as PEI has possession of the ball.
It was a beautiful pick by their 8-man there and popped it off to their backs right away, and they're playing it on the outside.
Fradshan with the ball for PEI. PEI with a very good early possession here. England. So you know this team, Nova Scotia, very well. So maybe describe for the viewers back at home what type of team they have sent here to the championships.
Yeah, for sure. So I've actually worked in high-performance groups with quite a few of these athletes and worked closely with them throughout the last couple of years. And they have quite a good lineup starting here, a lot of gifted athletes. So they're quite physical, and I'm excited to see what they bring today.
Irving has it momentarily. And the first whistle of the day from referee Chris Edge, who is from New Brunswick. You know, I know you probably will be out there playing, but we're glad you've come up here to the booth to join us here for the call of this one. So
I would absolutely love to be out there today. It's gutting, but I'm excited to be up here. It's a new thing, new challenge.
And the thing is that she was at the right place at the right time.
Oh, yeah.
5 minutes before game time.
I was like, can I give it a go?
Here you are. So we're delighted to have you here. So as you said, you know the team Nova Scotia very well. So
yep, we just had kick for touch there from Omar, number 10 on NS. And we have a Nova Scotia line out here with Mateo Quinones throwing it in. Nice take there by Keegan Dalton. Oh, hard defense up by PEI. Oh, looks like some messy balls.
yeah, so far the amazing into the championships. We're 3 games in. The passing has been pretty good. Like, it's humid, so the ball can be a little bit wet. The players are wet. It's
Yeah,
the
it's a
passing has
sticky
been,
one.
It is but they seem to be catching and passing very well.
Definitely,
so far.
they've been handling it well so far. Unfortunately, there was just a few missed passes there by NS, but some crazy defense from PEI. They were coming up quite hard, and their blitz was great. So, love to see the physicality right off the start. Looks like we have another Nova Scotia line out here. Mateo Quinones again, throwing it in. Oh, good hands there again by Keegan Dalton.
First good
And that's
possession here.
Daniel Fallows taking it in.
Follow up here. Nova Scotia, a really good first possession there for him to the outside. Alderson.
Oh, missed.
And this is what sometimes in this sport is that you've got momentum going, you've got things going your way, and then all of a sudden just a
quick
very
slip
bad
up,
pass.
yeah.
Exactly. And it just takes away every momentum that you had because that looked really good. Short passes, everything worked
For
very
sure.
well.
We saw some strong passes there by NS, and they started playing it out wide, but unfortunately just one missed line, and the turnover happened. So let's see what PEI does with their momentum here. So we have William Kent starting at 9 for PEI right now. Let's see what the scrum half does.
And well, of course, one of the things that's so great about covering rugby championships is we have a referee mic on them. So let's listen in here to Chris Edge.
Oh, some quick passes there by PEI, getting out wide to the wing. Oh, beautiful offload from number 14, Owen Matheson. Passed off to, I believe, their fullback, John Fratcham.
Oh, there was a big wall run in there as McKenzie runs into a Nova Scotia defender. McLeod. Penalty called. PEI, so it looks to be Rutledge that will try to with this tap and go here for Nova Scotia.
No, actually, I think Omar will be kicking to touch.
Yeah. Jumped to the gun too much.
It did look like that. I thought Rutledge was going to take that one in, actually, but looks like they're deciding to go for the line out, as so far their lineups have been pretty consistent. But PEI is putting up some strong defense on all of their set plays.
Well, they were trying to keep it alive and can't, and good crowd on hand here. Kings Edgehill with some applause, so. As I said, 24 degrees, a little bit of a light wind. It can go from side to side, going from end to end right now. So it's a tricky wind, so this is something that they'll have to keep in mind for the conversions from outside the post for sure.
Luckily, a little breeze has picked up here. I know during the first U19 girls game, it was really hot. Oh,
McKenzie.
Taken there by the flanker, number 7, Mason McKenzie.
Back out they go, midfield. You have a funny feel this is going to be a pretty up-tempo game that you see so far.
Definitely agree. This is exciting right off the bat. Another penalty against PEI.
And this could, leads to into touch, so a line out to come.
I guess Nova Scotia's feeling pretty confident with their set pieces today and are kicking for touch the majority of their penalties here, but PEI has been blitzing up on every single line out so far and has interrupted quite a few, so it's close competition on these set pieces.
Now, for players to come to an Atlantic Championship, seeing some of the things, we've got Team Alberta and the girls' side of things. They all play in different clubs throughout the year and then come together for a provincial. So I guess as a player that's sort of done this, you being in the provincial program, to go from a club to a provincial team, how's the adjustment go for a player?
Well, obviously you go from playing against your teammates to then being a unit with all of them. So it's quite a change up, but we've played together for years actually, and then all gone off to play for different varsity teams. And we all come from different backgrounds, but we're always able to reconnect in the end when we come back to play Celtics together. It's kind of like a home and a base start for everyone. So it's always so much fun to come back together, especially after a year of playing against each other and be teammates again.
As a person that I just met about 10 minutes ago, I'm going to ask you, like, your background. How many times have you gone to Atlantic Championships? You know, is this your first kick at it, second, third?
So this year would be my third year with Atlantics. I started playing for Team NS in U17 2 years ago. And I now play for Acadia University. I had my first kick at CRCs last year with the Atlantic Selects and had a debut with the Women's Privateers team this year. So I've got to play with Atlantic Rugby for quite a bit now, and I'm excited to be back here again, even if I'm not on the field, but to support my teammates and see great rugby throughout this weekend.
Fallows, stiff arm, brought down.
Huge
quickly
run there.
Back up. There's Owen Wilson, the hometown boy.
Oh, tackle made there by number 6. Micah Hood, PEI, that was a crazy out-of-bounds tackle, but good run by Davison, and Fallows there too, taking that in and seeing that offload opportunity.
Yeah, Davison was a member of the Avenview High School boys hockey team. And this past year, he spent in the Nova Scotia Junior Hockey League. And that team has been renamed. They used to be the Valley Maple Leafs. They'll now be known as the Windsor Oxen.
Yeah, a lot of dual sport athletes out there like Davison. I believe this is his first year with the Nova Scotia Celtics coming out of Avenview High School. He attended Acadia University this year, and I believe that he's hoping to play for their men's team this upcoming school year, so that's exciting for him.
Not only a good athlete, but a good person as well, very committed. Did a lot of stuff when he attended Avenview.
Oh, I bet involved in his community, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Good for him to be representing the province here this weekend. That's exciting.
Wearing the number 11 in the blue.
Great line out there. We have a maul, Nova Scotia pushing, but great defense here from PEI. Oh, there we go.
Yeah,
that was Quinones taking it in.
Reaching the halfway point here of this first half. Nova Scotia threatening.
Fallows with the offload to McDonald there. Omar taking it out. Oh, missed pass there.
On the grounds. 50-50 ball, and Nova Scotia has it. Cut to one side, and it'll swing out to the other. Spinney.
Sam Spinney also plays for Acadia University.
McDonald. Brought down by the ankles there from Team PEI.
Oh, a little collision there, but getting it out wide.
Might have been a little bit of a high tackle they might have got away with because the arm was right close to the neck area.
Oh, I don't think they did. Yep, that was caught there.
Also, I caught something.
Yes, you did. You were ahead of the game.
I guess I have to get out of this broadcast booth and get myself a referee's jersey. It's the first one I've ever called in 6 years of off and on calling this. So I got to learn something every once in a while.
Looks like NS kicked for touch once again, and Mateo Quinones is going to throw that ball in for that set piece line out. I'm going to assume that they're going for the maul again, as that was a successful run the last time. Although there was that one high tackle, PEI has been doing an amazing job with their blitz and getting up fast on defense, staying connected. They've been shutting down a lot of plays and forcing a few knock-ons, so. Good hands there by Dalton. Oh, great drive from NS.
Yep, they're just pushing and pushing.
You see PEI folding around.
And they get it down for the try. Pretty much couldn't draw it up any better if you're the coaching staff for sure, as you were saying about what they were going to do, set the play up, and they ended up coming away with the try 5 for Nova Scotia.
Playing to their strengths for sure. Their set pieces have been consistent so far during this game, and their lineouts are strong. They have good hands up there and great jumpers, great lifters, so I think that maul decision was really smart on their behalf.
And sorry.
I was going to say, PEI came in strong there with their defense, so they were reading that fold. Unfortunately, Nova Scotia just got the drive on right away, but I guess great for my home province. I
was just going to say, it's like in some of these games when you're playing in heat, it's harder to defend, and to see that you'd have to say that a lot of time of possession has gone in favor of Nova Scotia so far, and it sort of just almost does a spinning effect here for PEI, is that you're defending and then you're tired and then you find yourself more on a defensive mode because you're tired because you've been defending. For sure. So this heat is very hard.
The hardest part of the game is defense, so when you're on it for the majority of the game, having the stamina to keep going is quite impressive, and props to PEI because unfortunately their momentum just hasn't been in their favor so far, but when they have had a turnover and had the ball, they've been doing some great things and great switch of the field, actually. So I'm excited to see what else they have to do with that.
Amazingly, that wasn't an easy conversion for well outside the post with a little bit of a wind, but they ended up getting it through for a 7-0 lead.
Do we know who touched down that try after that maul there?
I didn't get a chance to see it there.
Yeah,
so.
I didn't catch that, but a maul, I guess, is a joint effort for a try, especially. There's no big runs there, and the whole team pushes together. So, it looks like we have a replay right now, actually. Oh, that was Keegan Dalton that actually scored that try.
Well, the reset didn't go well, didn't go the 10 meters, so scrum near midfield. So knowing this Nova Scotia team, what are some of the strengths that you have seen in their play coming into today?
I think that Nova Scotia is known for their physicality right off the get-go. They have a very strong pack here. Eric Rutledge being in their front row, I'd say one of the top male U19 props in Atlantic Canada. He was actually part of the U18 Canada training program alongside Keegan Dolan, Owen Williams, I believe Mateo Quinones as well. So their front row is quite strong and physical, and we also have very speedy backs, so getting out wide after quite a few crashes is usually a go for, as well as our mauls. They seem to be using their set pieces. I've said this already, but they're going very well for them today. So physicality, but also speed on the outside for sure. Looks like we have yet another line out, but this time for PEI.
Whistle stops play, so look to redo it. They go way up for that one. There was England. Whistle stops play. A tap and go, and quickly tapped there by Kent.
Oh, big run there.
Yeah, Mason McKenzie, he's lowered a boom a couple of times in this game. Once he gets going.
Very physical. That straight arm was deadly.
Once he gets going, once he gets the flow going, he could sort of be hard to be brought down. And case in point is he just ran over a Nova Scotia player, so they're inside the 22. Their best run down the pitch here for PEI. Looking to try to counter the try here from Nova Scotia to tie things up here as we get to the 19th minute. So we're getting into the late stages of this first half. Once again, we'll take it downfield level, let you know about the sights and sounds here of the championships.
So Nova Scotia scrum here.
I think that's what's so great about working these championships is that, you know, the referees will, in this sport, will mic themselves up, and it just adds such an added feature, and, you know, get a chance to be downfield level.
Yeah, I 100% agree. The first time I had played with mic'd up refs was during Canadian Rugby Championship for U19 H Division last. Oh, wow. Crazy hit there by PEI. I'm not sure who that was. Possibly 7, Mason McKenzie.
You talked about his physicality. It's like we saw him with the stiff arm and pretty much run it over the Nova Scotia guy and a big tackle there.
That was a beautiful dump tackle. He's been really showing his physicality the last couple minutes, too, both on offense and defense. It looks like we have an exit there from Omar.
Whistle stops play. I have a lot of whistles here in the last few minutes here. So 45-minute games is what we play. So the half's usually about 22, 23 minutes plus change. Don't think we'll see too much added on here in terms of injury time for...
I believe actually due to one less team than the girls division, the boys division is actually playing 60-minute games, whereas the girls are playing 45 as there are 2 Nova Scotia U19 female teams. We have a U19 and U18 both playing in the U19 division, so they're able to add a little more time onto the men's division here.
Because it works as that you can't have a certain amount of minutes played in a
day. Yeah, exactly. And I believe that the Nova Scotia U19 team, so my team, is playing 2 games on Saturday, so they couldn't overdo the time limit that we have. Yet another line out for Nova Scotia here. Oh, but good defensive line out from PEI. Oh, big run by Nolan Eisner here. Look at the leg drive. Great offload.
Quick handoff.
And great tackle by PEI there, too.
Yeah, it looked to be Nova Scotia off to the races, but not to be as the PEI got back and tackled. So Nova Scotia threatening, but then the steal. And
PEI's
who again? Mason McKenzie.
What a runner. PEI's had quite a few turnovers in their red zone there, actually, as Nova Scotia's had some great momentum, and then they've saved themselves with amazing defense and some great jackal skills, actually.
Been all over the field. McKenzie have a tough yardage again. Good little pass in the handoff. Stopped there by McClellan. Gets up to midfield. PEI looked good.
Oh, going right to Davison.
Whistle stop and play.
Option here, okay? We're gonna have a scrum or a penalty up where the ball is played. Okay.
Looks like PEI is possibly kicking for touch. It actually sounded like
the middle, yes.
My headphones had just been turned on for the first time so far this game, but now they've been turned back off. Never mind, my headphones have been on the whole time.
Well, you're doing fantastic. First time in the booth, and especially doing this with 5 minutes before the game.
Yeah, it was exciting.
Yeah.
I looked up, saw Matt Melanson on the mic, and I was like, gotta shoot for the opportunity. It's great to do one of these games too, as I obviously have a lot of friends on the U19 guys team and familiar with the way they play, and I actually know a few names on the PEI U19 men's team.
Ben Dodge, substitution here for Nova Scotia.
Ben Dodge, too, was part of my high-performance group up in the city, led by Emma Delory. He's a quick player.
Crouch! Bind! Feet back, please. Hooker, feet back. Set!
I have a feeling that... Oh.
Yep. PEI will try to go with the tap and go with McKenzie. He's been tough to bring down, but he can taste the try line, but can't get it in. And
oh, wow. Some progressive defense here from Nova Scotia, actually. They're pushing them back. Oh, but McKenzie again.
Here. Yeah, you've been impressed with his play.
Definitely. I haven't heard the name before, but he's definitely shown himself throughout this game with his physicality.
Saunders.
Oh, good
brought
tackle
down by
there.
2 Nova Scotia players.
Oh, some steps there by number 10.
Hashido.
Very impressive.
Kent.
Oh, held up there.
Like Kent had all body parts off the ground. It's like,
yeah,
I bet that didn't feel too comfortable.
Definitely not.
You don't often see a player like, you're sort of down, but to have no legs and no arms touching the ground.
Hold up there by Dalton, and the double tackle, the dump tackle by Omar. That
looks, he's at a rock concert or something.
Crazy
making him go through the crowd.
Oh, no.
Oh, a shank on the kick, yes. But
picked up by PEI. Big run here.
Matheson brought down just inside the 10.
Oh.
England.
Oh.
McKenzie again. See it stiff arm once, nothing there. Kent
Beautiful
again.
Play out by the 9 there, actually.
Back out Saunders.
Oh, some good leg drive there by their number 12, Max McLeod. Oh, big run by McClellan, too.
Looking pretty good here for PEI. McKenzie again. Nova Scotia doing a good job of containing McKenzie. As soon as I say that, gathers it up. And
went on another run there.
Bubbling. It's like they didn't even see that play coming. Numbers to the outside for PEI.
Oh, wow. Good
Civic.
hands there by 15.
Flip out Matheson. Late stages first half, PEI with a little bit of pressure. A fake there by Hashido. Hashido try 5 there for PEI.
Second time he's done that now with that same step. Read that play extremely well as the Nova Scotia defender decided to start pushing over for that pass. So good read.
Well, when you get numbers
Hashido
and you have basically a fake, it's like, well, he is. As we take a look at the replay.
Yeah, beautiful dummy pass. And that step in. And he's a speedy player. Unfortunately, we had some type 5 players on him defending there.
Yoshi Hajijo, in the meantime, has brought it down to a 2-point game, and PEI looking to tie here with 3 and change left here in this first half.
I'm sure Hashido's definitely a great player for PEI's. I believe he could probably play very well in the back 3 with that speed.
Fredsham with the easy chip. Usually you've been seeing some of the kickers sort of, try to square it up. He just put it on the tee and just gave it a boot and has tied it up at 7.
You were right off the start. This is a close game.
Well, it didn't look to be that way, but this is sort of what has been happening. One team has sort of had had the ball more in the first half but the other team will start to sort of get close and start progressing as the late stages of the first half comes. So
For sure.
Good bounce back from PEI.
Nova Scotia's been doing a great job with their crash plays and getting that momentum, but PEI, Keegan Dalton there with the pick.
Dalton.
And he's
trying to
in.
get it down. Dalton plays it down for the try for Nova Scotia.
Smart play there by Dalton. Going quick, he threw them off, saw the gap, and took it.
Well, they needed pretty much a quick response. You couldn't get any quicker than that.
Just like I said, Nova Scotia's been doing really well with quick momentum there and looking for those gaps, whereas PEI's been doing really well with their back line and swinging out to their speed on almost every single play now, actually. So
saw the stiff arm and then. And yes, we're right down there field level. Melvin Chucks bringing you that shot, folks. Wyatt Langevin with the conversion.
Bounced off there.
Thought it'd been pretty. It chipped off the post and went down. In another sport, they call that the doink. Sometimes it's the double doink. We'll go hit the top bar, then the crossbar, and then go down. But that was just a single doink this time. 14-7 lead. You've never heard?
I've never heard of the doink before. Nope.
Well, it's in the other sport where they wear the shoulder pads there. It's in football. It was a Chris Collingsworth term. They're talking about the field goal and it just bounced off the
double
doink. So now it's basically a trademark that's happened throughout. So I say we're into extra time.
Crazy matchup there, actually. Mackenzie and Quinones, both quite physical players. So a good take in by Quinones, and then Mackenzie with the dump tackle.
PEI has it near midfield. They'll swing it to the outside. Fredsham.
Yep, utilizing their back 3. That's what they've been.
Big tackle there by Langevin for Nova Scotia.
And the penalty for an S. Good defensive work there.
Nova Scotia happy just to tap and go and then kick it into touch to send us to halftime. Been a doozy, been lots of action, been back and forth. So your final thoughts here on this one before we take a break.
It was definitely exciting first half. Very physical, very competitive, and both teams playing to their strengths. So I'm excited to see what happens in the next.
Boy, you couldn't tease it any better if I tried there. So we're going to take a break, step aside, and we'll have more of the coverage here from Windsor. You're watching the 2020-2025 United Atlantic Senior Rugby Championships on Maritime Athletic Profiles. welcome back here to Kings Edge Hill School in beautiful Windsor, Nova Scotia. Day number 1 of the 2025 U19 Atlantic Rugby Championships. Dan Hobson, Megan Bentz, and Megan's going to sound like going to be joining us throughout the rest of the championship. So we're delighted to have you. Your thoughts after the opening 30 minutes of play?
Well, it was a crazy first half, super close, and a lot. Oh no. Knock on there for Nova Scotia. Sorry, I'm getting distracted already. Very physical first half. Both teams playing to their strengths. PEI utilizing their fast backs and Nova Scotia utilizing their crash plays and their set pieces here. Both teams are doing really well keeping the ball alive and looking for those offloads.
And it's been a pretty up-tempo game. Really quick pace here to this one.
For sure,
yeah. It's been definitely an entertaining one. And
quick play, pace, and a lot of aggression.
And PEI got a little bit of momentum late there in the first half, but then Nova Scotia quickly came down and scored within a minute there to still have a 7-point lead. PEI. We were also very impressed with McKenzie for number 7 for PEI. They've been very physical, so definitely one to keep an eye on. Outside, Matheson. He runs into a big blue wall.
A great tackle again by Nova Scotia's 13.
Langevin.
Bit of a messy pass. Oh.
A quick tap and go, and McKenzie says, no, not that quick.
Utilizing that gap there would have been great, especially with his physicality hitting one straight arm, and he would have been into that end zone.
Yeah, it was a very unfortunate break because he had some real estate because Nova Scotia was resetting.
Yeah.
And they'll put it into touch here for a line out. You can see that McKenzie pretty much has like one speed here for PEI. That's all out.
Yeah, but even though it's warm and the game's been going on, you haven't seen any fatigue from McKenzie yet, so props on him.
Yep, so have a little bit of a breeze, so let's make it a little bit cooler. It was really intensely hot here for the first game of the day with the two Nova Scotia teams, U18, U19. It was very warm, no breeze, and every once in a while the breeze kicks up, but it's going to be a hot and warm for the championships for the next 4 days.
Smart for PEI to utilize their overthrow in that line out there with Will McDonald from Nova Scotia going up on defense. He's quite a tall guy. I want to say like 6'5", 6'6", so smart play utilizing that overthrow.
McClellan could smell the tri-line there for PEI. Nova Scotia just
holding up McKenzie there.
Yeah.
Wow, turned over.
And brought out. A big stand there for Nova Scotia, so it's still a 7-point lead for them, but sloppy passing. So what play is blown down?
I would have presumed that NS would have utilized an exit kick in that situation there, get it out, but instead they decided to go for a wide swing, and as you can see, PEI, again, their defense was great. They were hard up and putting pressure on Nova Scotia, caused some messy passes and some knock-ons there.
Once again, we'll send it down. Chris Edge is your referee.
Bind. Get up. Set. Run.
So that's pretty much a big moment here in this game. I know we just started the second half, and we're into like the 34th minute. We're going to play 60 minutes. Right, Nova Scotia, a couple of times there have basically bent but not broken. And they kick it into touch for the lineout. So we're keeping it a 7-point game. So
Yep, that was some stressful play in Nova Scotia's red zone there, past at 22. PEI had some good offensive momentum, but Nova Scotia's managed to turn it over 2 times now, so we'll see if this time is successful with their exit here. They had their height there from Will McDonald on that line out, and Daniel Fallows with a great run and offload.
Now, this is a pretty quick tempo offense that we've seen from Team Nova Scotia. Like 1-2 passes and they're off to the races. Now they're going to cut in towards the middle. And he's been busy. Chris Edge has been busy. There's been a lot of whistles here in this match between PEI and Nova Scotia.
Yeah, both teams are eager for that ball, but it's causing a little bit of dirty play here, actually. And PEI is once again kicking for touch.
So another line out to come.
I wonder if they'll use their overthrow again here to try and avoid Will McDonald on that defensive up. I believe that's Kyler McLeod throwing in here for PEI. Yep,
And the overthrow
once again. I called it. Oh, great tackle
They've been
there.
over on some of these, but it's worked out very well for McLeod. A couple of chances.
For sure.
And once again, another whistle. So what seemed to show a lot of up-tempo that first half sort of is not quite there now in the second, but
Slowed down a little bit, quite a few whistles. I guess positive with this is gives teams both time to reset a little bit. Especially with the frantic play with whistle after whistle, you can tell they're getting a little tired, so slowing it down might be what's best. Good hands there by Fallows.
Yes, because it might not have been the cleanest of pass, but he was sort of like working like the circlers doing the juggling there, but did manage to come up with it, especially.
Yep, he held on.
Nova Scotia happy to kick it out of harm's way for the meantime. And Hal Jiju, who's got the try here for PEI, was trying to keep that alive and couldn't.
The U19 guys have had quite a few opportunities, some great opportunities this summer for loads of rugby, as quite a few of our U19 Celtics players have just gone back from a Europe tour to Amsterdam and Portugal, and now have Canada games coming up for U20 men's this summer as well, in St. John's, I believe, as well as CRCs.
Couple of fakes and then a stiff arm is going up midfield. This Team Nova Scotia.
Great pass there by Omar.
Not an easy one there for Dalton to handle, right around the midsection area, but still managed to do it and had somebody draped over him.
Sure, he saw the gap there for that crack pass, and he called it and got it quite aggressive to the stomach, but was able to hold on. Oh, looks like number 10 Omar was getting a little aggressive there with the 10 from PEI.
Yeah, so
You hit the player off the ball.
Nova Scotia penalized, so we'll probably see Hatcher with the tap and go for PEI. There he goes, off, back out, England.
Good tackle there for Rutledge.
Brought down by the ankles. Hand, pardon me. A little mix up there, but Saunders comes up with the ball. As McEwen was in the territory there for PEI.
Oh, once again.
Hadjico with a nice little fake and in the middle. Brought down, a little bit slow to get up there for PEI, but to the outside, Fradsham.
Great
Civic.
cut back in. Number 11, Civic, yep.
McKenzie. And
oh my gosh, that's Jack Casey.
Kicked up there by Casey.
What
I've got
a
no
play!
number. I've got no number, but I'll kick it up nonetheless. We're in the block here. Jack Casey.
Not every day you see a prop kick and chase, but that was crazy. Good on you, Jack.
Bit of a
Great
fake there by
contact
Williams.
from PEI there.
Dodge. With a substitution in late in that first half. Rutledge.
Oh, and Mo with the big run. Oh, missed pass to Casey there.
Pat Mansfield will check in here for Team Nova Scotia as well. Some teams making some substitutions. Gavin Oliver. And also Zach Craswell checking in for PEI. Scrum just shy of the 22. Coming up.
Looks like we've switched field here a little bit as the second half started off in 22 for Nova Scotia, and now it's moved to PEI, so it's a close game back and forth.
Hit the 41st minute, so we've got 19 to go. And
Looks like we've got some fresh legs in our tight five there for both teams, too.
Kent. Shoestring tackle by Langevin.
His defense has been very good throughout this whole game. Positive tackles left, right, and center, actually.
Belage Burt. McKenzie
Great offload.
quickly off. McClellan.
Good hit by Rutledge.
Hachicho.
Uh,
With the drop off there to Saunders, and
right idea with the switch there from Saunders, actually. Just wasn't executed to its full potential, but the vision was definitely there, and there was a gap, so if that had worked, that would have been a deadly line. Vashido kicking for touch here. Got quite the boot on him, too, actually.
it manages to succeed. And PEI going down the pitch here. They've had a couple of chances here to try to tie this up or bring it to a 2-point game of a conversion. But Nova Scotia has sort of found a way to hold the line and keep it a 7-point game. But PEI pressing again. That's it, been entertaining, up and back and forth, and been entertaining. Hood.
That was a interesting defensive line out there. Oh,
McKenzie again.
he's a strong runner, that's for sure.
And a tap and go, trying to be the benefactor is Kent.
Oh, and a chip over. Let's see if they get there.
And will go out.
Well, it was a hard fight from both teams, actually, in the zone there, but defended well by NS.
So 3 times here PEI have come close, but have not been able to get across for their second try of the game. Line out 6, or the into touch.
Looks like NS is trying to switch field there. Even from the far side, that was a far kick, but looks like they're aiming to switch field.
Well, there's been like in this second half, there's been like PEI has been really within distance of that try line, and so Nova Scotia just opting just to get it out of harm's way for the meantime, just
Yeah,
to
for sure.
have a little bit of breathing room.
Yep, they
because
keep
as we
creeping up
said,
on them.
As we said, defending is harder on the body, and it's like with this weather conditions, you gotta Also play to the weather as PEI pressing again here with Saunders.
Great
Saunders!
run by Saunders there.
Saunders
And
cutting into the middle, and he'll put it down for the try. Run. Pierce Saunders.
Impressive footwork too, reading that cut last minute there.
Well, eventually, if you knock on the door, you're going to kick it in, and that's the case in point here as we look at it on replay. Just about broke a couple of ankles on some players there from Nova Scotia.
Say, they were diving. Utilize that straight arm too on that first initial contact there. Really strong, and then from there he was able to use his footwork to get around those last two defenders.
Fredgem for the tie. The PEI bench will tell you. They're tied at 14. But we've seen this scenario before. PEI comes down and score. Nova Scotia quickly struck. Nova Scotia hoping that script stays the same. PEI saying, we've seen that, we've done that movie, we bought the popcorn, didn't like it then. Into the 47th minute, so we're in for a dandy of a finish.
Good drive out by Nova Scotia there. It's Liam Saunders, I believe.
Been a clean game so far. No yellow cards handed out. Nobody's been sent to the bin. Everything's been. They go up and quickly by Nova Scotia. Fallows in the middle. Fallows taking a couple of PEI players with him. Inside the 22. Swung over Mansfield.
Oh, taken in by Mo there. Good read on that play. Dummy pass to that tip line there, but managed to take it into that
Casey.
gap.
Casey.
Oh,
backed off the line there
by PEI.
Oliver was saved it for the meantime.
Wow. And counter ruck there. Oh. Looks like his hands may have been on the ground, though.
They're trying to go up tempo a couple of times, not just once, but twice. Chris Edge just had to blow the whistle. Let's send it downfield level.
Always where the ref makes it, and it is on the 5 meter at the goal line, okay?
Looks like Keegan Doughton's asking for a scrum there.
Okay,
for Nova Scotia on that penalty.
Time is on my whistle, guys.
Oh no, but they're picking and going, and Rutledge is just short there.
Yeah, stop there.
And Mo's
but
taking
not
it in.
To be denied.
Smart play, smart pick, and great body height there from Mo. Sounds like the coaches were asking for a scrum, but players were able to read that their pick and go was strong enough for that try.
With the try, and just like that, it's like pretty much saved. You know, PEI comes down, scores, and then quickly Nova Scotia counterattacks and scores as well.
Yeah, and they did that in the first half too.
Well, the kickers here in this was saying, hey, boys, thanks for making these kicks easy for me here today. Right down Main Street again.
Yeah, there's Saunders again with the kick. Oh, sorry. Yeah, Legaman, not Saunders. That's PEI. Yeah, beautiful ball right there.
And had some extra to spare, so it's just like that. It's 21-14. With just over 10 left to go. this would have to be sort of like one of the best matchups we've had all day. Every game has been close, with this one a little bit more closer. So 7 points.
Yeah, well, they still got the time, so we'll see. See if PEI is able to push another one here, and if maybe Nova Scotia will come back from that one again if they do.
Reset underway. Way up. Looking at was Will McDonald momentarily.
Oh, tackle me, but no.
Talk of me, didn't
ball
he
in
have the
hand.
ball? Was anticipating the ball. It didn't get there.
Yeah, it was hard to read. The ball almost snuck behind the unfortunate bounce, and NS couldn't quite get it, but PEI was quick up on defense once again.
Kind of not really. It's pretty easy to say UPEI when you see PEI
I
with
know.
the black and
Especially
green.
playing against them
Yeah.
all AUS season. I keep wanting to say UPEI and keep sneaking out
Not,
on them.
you're
Like,
not
nope.
the only one every once in a while. But remember, it's U19, so
Yep.
you're not wrong if
Still
you say
back in the
U.
junior division. And it's the last year, actually, I guess. Myself
So
and a lot of
if
my
you
friends
come
will be
across
playing.
and you feel like you're going to say U, then you could just sneak in the 18 and the 19 and then put the
U19
province name. There you go,
PEI,
and
yeah,
you're
there
well
we go.
covered. You have it covered.
Oh, a little ball fumble there by both teams, actually. It looks like substitute Owen.
Owen O'Coin will check in here for Nova Scotia.
For Keegan Dalton.
Yeah, he's had a pretty good one. He has a try here.
Yeah, good set for Dalton.
Save your energy.
Hey, unbind.
Yeah, take it easy, guys. Take it easy.
Unbind.
Owen O'Coin, also a multi-positional player. I believe he
It's gonna reset
has
now,
loads
okay?
of experience hooking, but I believe they put him in as flanker here. Quick, strong player, so great in all aspects of the scrum, I
Well,
guess.
in life, the more assets that you have, the more playing time
Exactly.
you're going to get.
For sure, being able to be flexible and try different positions out is a great asset. And Fallows there with the steal and taking that.
Fowles cutting
Oh,
into the
sorry.
middle. O'Coy freshly into the game.
Good offload there. Oh, and great
Just-
support.
Past the 10.
Oh, not quite. I spoke too soon.
Yeah. PEI penalty, so we'll see if what they do. If they do the tap or go, kick it out.
Looks like they're going for a
Going
kick.
in, yep. And into touch. And substitutions as Brex McLeod will come in, as well as Max Clark. And Noah Potter checks in for PEI.
I actually know Noah Potter. He went to Acadia, and he's quite a gifted football player. Actually, he plays for the Acadia men's football team. So cool seeing him in a different sport too. I've never seen him on the rugby pitch, just on the football.
So it's almost
Field,
like a
so-
homecoming summer weekend for him.
Yeah, exactly. He's
Winds are
he's
just
back.
about, yeah, winds are about 15, 20 minutes away from the town of Wolfville.
Good defensive lineup for Nova Scotia, having Will McDonald in the air there. Oh, and Fallows once again with great physicality in his offensive contact.
Fowles has had a lot of touches, and we talked about McKenzie, how good he was the first half. He's been physical as well, Fowles.
For sure, yeah. He's taking great initiative on offense there in that lead position.
Craswell sort of did the Tasmanian Devil, spinning around
Just
looking for the ball.
panorama with Spinny there. Actually, that works perfectly.
Well, Spinny did the same thing, was spinning around, so that's why he got
Spinny
the name
was
Spinny.
spinning.
Of course, it's his last name too, but you know, details, minor
I'm sure
details.
he's heard that before.
Yeah. Tap and go, PEI pressing here, late stages.
Oh, stiff arm from McKenzie again there, but taken down by Ben Dodge.
PEI once again playing catch up.
Oh, number 2
McLeod.
coming in strong there.
And now Nova Scotia called for the penalty. See if it's another
PEI has some momentum here.
Yeah.
Getting close past that 22.
Fradship. And
Last
in the
PEI
touch.
line out was stolen there by Nova Scotia, so I wonder if they're going to utilize their strong overthrow and crash bowl again like the last times in Nova Scotia's red zone.
You've said it. Some of the lineouts for
Oh no! Looks like our tent's leaving
it's
us.
not the first time it's happened to me in the world of broadcasting where the tents just pick up and go. It's
Yep, I was actually sitting over under the tent earlier during
No,
the last game, and the
yeah.
giant Coors flotation thing fell on top of us. So
As I was trying to say, there's been some times that PEI has been on the overthrow and it's gone to the back. Sometimes it's worked and sometimes it hasn't. So we'll see what this one has in store. This one's picked off by Nova Scotia, so they're definitely having some difficulties there in that department.
we got some height on that defensive line out for sure.
And kicked up the pitch. McLeod.
Unfortunate knock on for PEI.
And slams the ball down. And that's a huge, especially in late stages.
For sure, late stages, an open field. Catches. It's a hard one. There's a lot of pressure on you as a fullback back there with that kick receive and decision making there, and the knock-on's quite open, especially since you're open field. So.
And a slight crosswind that can make that difficult too right now.
For sure. It's unfortunate, but.
Nova Scotia happy to try to kill some time here, up by 7.
Set. Early. At the back of the scrum, guys. Back of the
Nova
scrum.
Scotia called for the penalty. Fradship. Happy with the tap and go outside. Oliver. Brought down by Saunders.
Oliver had quite a bit of speed on him there.
Not the cleanest of passes there for McLeod, and a steal there by Casey.
Advantage over.
I was waiting to see the kick and chase again that time, Casey. Didn't quite happen.
Well, the element of surprise is off the table now that he did that once. So
Yeah.
Casey.
Taken down well by PEI there.
A good tackle there by Kyler McLeod. And Kyler McLeod once again out there trying to get some tackle going. Nova Scotia with a good pass to the outside here.
Oh, wow. What a
2 minutes
almost a crazy
to
tackle.
go. That's a tough mileage there for Mansfield. A line out here. So if in a score game, with a one-score game, and PEI's had their chances, they've been knocking on the door like a couple of times and just weren't able to get it in here. You got to give Nova Scotia credit for their defense here in this game.
Sure.
They're at midfield. Minute and a half and change. Nova Scotia happy to kick it down out of the fingertips of Craswell.
Oh, he went for the 22 mark there. Great kick by Omar there.
And Hunter McLeod heard it from the crowd. A couple of tough minutes here for him.
So it's a 10's dream to hit that 22 mark on our own kick, especially when exiting. So it was a great kick from Omar there.
Ryan McKay. To inbound here for Team Nova Scotia.
Oh, and we have a maul from Nova Scotia here, but PEI's holding it up. You can see that McDonald's actually fully off the ground.
Pass was into the middle there to
some intense
Also did,
contact.
yeah. And I'm not sure if he was ready for the pass, but it came nonetheless.
No.
He was looking around, looking, assessing things.
Oh, Casey again.
Getting close here to extra time. Seconds counting down.
Pushed back by PEI and picked up.
Well, if anything, they've got a long way to go and a short time to do it here for PEI as we are now into extra time. McKenzie, does he have some magic left?
Oh.
McKenzie trying to spin away. He's actually going backwards with it brought down.
Positive tackle from Nova Scotia there on McKenzie,
Yes.
but looked like he was looking for some support and couldn't quite catch anyone's eye to get that ball off.
We've used this expression, huge scrums. This is huge. Into extra time. Nova Scotia knows that probably they were into extra time. Kick it out. Call it a day. PEI wants to keep it alive and maybe live for another day.
Oh, good
Nova
drive
Scotia
from PEI,
with the
but
win.
taken by Nova Scotia there.
Fallows. Brought down shy of the 22. They go back. David Smith of a touch here. So I think everybody's had their hands on the ball here.
Looks like Rutledge is looking for the tap and go possibly, or
Tap and
kicking
go
out.
and puts it out. And that will do it, Nova Scotia.
No.
With a win over PEI 21-14 in a back and forth, intense, but best matchup of the day.
Real close game there, but exciting turnout for Nova Scotia. But PEI really held their ground and actually kept coming back.
In just a couple moments, we're going to head down to field level to speak to Team Nova Scotia. So we're going to step aside for just a couple of minutes, and we'll return to Windsor. You're watching the 2025 U19 Atlantic Senior Rugby Championships on Maritime Athletic Profiles. Back in just a couple of seconds. Well, we just had a very exciting matchup between Team PEI and Team Nova Scotia. Team Nova Scotia coming away with the win. I'm here with Mo Tahama. Yeah, sorry about that. Congratulations on the win, but that was not a very easy matchup, was it?
It was a little messy. To be fair, it is a season, so I think if we
Yeah, it's like here's the thing is that Team PEI, they come down and they would score, and you guys would quickly. You guys just seem to bounce back quickly. What were you guys saying?
Well, we can't let them get in us. We got to get it back. That's how the game works. We can't let them get too far ahead. It's game over. You got to keep the pressure on.
Yeah, well, talk about your defense, because there were a couple of times that they were knocking on the door, but weren't able to, get across and get that try. And you guys just seem to be, but not break. So, as you said, you're not really happy with the way things were technically. That you're going to clean up there for your next one.
Yeah.
What do you think that you've taken away from this game to get you ready for the next one?
I think something we need to work on is structure. I think that's something that we did not do that well on this game. We did have a little bit of it in the end. Structure for both teams, actually. Everyone was kind of scrambling. We just need to relax, take a step back, and play the game how it's supposed to be played.
Well, I appreciate you taking time to talk to us. Congratulations on the win. All right. Well, we got more coming back here at Windsor. You are watching the 2025 U19 Senior Atlantic Rugby Championships here on Maritime Athletic Profiles.